Well, after a cold and cloudy day in Riga yesterday, the city is treating me to a still very cold but sunny day. Which, you know, all things being equal, I'll take the sun. In any case, we're now on our way back to Central Market. I'm gonna try to get some food, which I failed to do yesterday. And yeah, then House of the Blackheads, Town Hall. May revisit some of the sites I saw yesterday, just to enjoy them with a little bit better aesthetic, with the sun being out and all. And yeah, that'll be it for Riga. I'll have to head to the airport and get on over to Vilnius. I often find the first day in a new city to be a bit overwhelming, just because, you know, new sights and sounds, you don't know your way around necessarily. So it can be a lot at once as you're trying to figure out, oh, how can I see all the sights before I have to leave? Well, it's nice, I always feel like by the second day in the city, if you use the first day well, everything feels very familiar. It's like I've walked down the street probably 2 or 3 times, crisscrossing Old Town yesterday, and I know how to get places, so it's a good feeling. We are back for round 2 at Central Market, which is really in no way central. I think it's a bit of a misnomer. In any case, I'm gonna try to find some baked goods and some coffee. Get the morning going right. Alright, we got a savory ham and cheese pie from the market. Gonna eat it in front of the opera. Had a little bite already, it's pretty good. What's breakfast without a bit of dessert? I can pretty comfortably say that both of those pastries were supposed to be eaten by 2 people, not 1, so I am stupidly full now, but they were pretty good. The ham and cheese thing, amazing, very filling, delicious, very hearty. Chocolate roll was more just okay. It was a little dry, but you know, is what it is. But yeah, now we're on the way to the Art Nouveau District Museum. I'm a little unclear. I know there's an Art Nouveau district somewhere, and I would assume it's by the Art Nouveau Museum, but I guess I could be wrong about that, so we're gonna find out together. So yeah, on the way. One of my most useless talents is that I have an incredible memory for faces, no memory for names. So you can tell me your name 100 times, I will never remember it, but if I see your face once while I'm just walking around a city, it's stuck in my memory for at least the next couple months. And the reason I bring it up is that I've passed the same 20 people about 100 times since I've been here, which I think just underscores how small of a city Riga actually is. If you're here hitting mostly tourist sites, you'll keep bumping into the same people again and again. I met an American couple yesterday, I've seen a couple times. There was an Italian couple on my bus this morning when I was coming back from the airport, who I just ran into again, so yeah, if you can make some travel friends if you set your mind to it. If you watched my video from yesterday, or maybe it'll be in the same video once I actually post it, but maybe earlier in the video, you'll recall that we saw this exact same Russian Orthodox church yesterday, but under very different conditions. So here it is, a nice blue background, which I think complements it better than droplets of rain and gray. And there's fake Lenin. We appear to be in the Art Nouveau part of Riga. Now, the only potential issue with being sure about that is that my entire knowledge base for what qualifies as Art Nouveau is from a single lesson in a German class in college that I took 2 years ago. where we briefly touched on Art Nouveau as the jumping off point for Bauhaus, or rather Bauhaus as a reaction to Art Nouveau. So while this could be Art Nouveau, it could also definitely be something different with which I'm just not familiar. So maybe the museum, if there in fact is a museum, will be able to tell us more. Once again, not sure what Art Nouveau is, but you'd have to say this looks like Art Nouveau. Or Jugendstil for you Germans out there. It's probably not how it's pronounced, so I absolutely embarrassed myself in front of a German family trying to speak German yesterday, so thought I was fluent. Turns out I still have a pretty horrendous American accent. I'm convinced this is Art Nouveau. Honestly, at this point, I don't even care what anyone says. I'm renaming whatever category of architecture this is, if it is not Art Nouveau. According to the map, this is the Art Nouveau quarter. I nailed it. This is all Art Nouveau. I know things, apparently. Ooh, maybe get a haircut. This reminds me in some ways, at least based on pictures, as I've never actually been to the city, but it reminds me in some ways of St. Petersburg in Russia. The style, the way the buildings kind of hug the street. It's very pre-war Europe. Just to give you a sense of Riga's size, the Art Nouveau area where I am right now is completely opposite of the old town from the Central Market where I was, just a few minutes ago. Well, in this video, basically, just a couple seconds ago. And the walk itself actually only took me about 15 minutes. So, yeah, it's really a very, very walkable old town. Now that doesn't take into consideration that both the Art Nouveau district and the Central Market are set somewhat far back from the river. So if you walked all the way across diagonally, might be a bit longer, but no more than 20 minutes. Which makes this a really good spot if you're a walker. As promised, we are back in the Town Hall Square. Riga's Town Hall and the House of the Blackheads. So first, I think we're gonna head in here, see what's what. Then I'm gonna see if I can get in the Town Hall, which with COVID is unlikely, but hey, you never know. So it's interesting. I knew with the name like House of the Blackheads, there was going to be some racist stuff inside. But I don't think I was ready for just how racist it actually is. I mean, that's like, beyond stereotype. That's Jim Crow style racism right there. This is a pretty jarringly blue room. See out the window into the town square. So that was the house of the Blackheads. I have to say, a bit disappointing. Pretty small exhibit, considering it's as expensive as most of the churches. But I mean, I guess it's one of the things to see, so you probably should spring to see it. I don't know if I would. The only big thing left on my list is the town hall. And as I said, I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to get in, but I guess there's no harm in trying. Riga Town Hall was unfortunately closed, which means that as of right now, I have actually seen everything I had on my list of things to see in Riga. So that leaves me in a bit of a pickle because I still have about, I don't know, 5-6 hours before I need to head to the airport. And I have nothing to do. And it appears that rain may be on the horizon. So, what will I do? I don't know, maybe get a haircut. Not that I really need one, but that'll at least kill 15 minutes, right? As the weather starts to turn and I continue to run out of things to do, figure why not go to the library? It's up ahead is the National Library of Latvia. Apparently has a nice view of the old town if you go to the top, so hopefully I'll be allowed in. Well, the library was closed, so now I'm fully out of ideas. I'm just gonna spend some time on this side of the river, I guess. I feel like I've seen as much of Old Town as realistically I can. Maybe I'll go back to the Art Nouveau area. I guess I didn't spend much time over there, but I'm more or less out of ideas. So it appears this is a monument to the Soviet soldiers who died in World War II. Based on the dates and the general design. Apparently this fancy tree was a gift from Japan to Latvia. You can see it's got some markings in there. It almost looks fake, but it's a real tree. When you visit a city like Riga, I find that at the end there's always kind of a bittersweet feeling, because it's a city that is possible, or I mean even likely, frankly, that I'll never see again. And so it's a strange feeling to be walking around and trying to take in these sights, knowing that this will be your last, you know, actual recollection of it, independent of some sort of video recording device. Which it makes me very appreciative for the fact that we have cameras now, because before it would only live out of my memory and, you know, a few snapshots I was able to take. So it's yeah, kind of a bummer in a way. But I guess that's also the joy of traveling, is that you get these short-term experiences. Maybe learn something new about the world and then get to take that back with you. So I don't know, I'm feeling melancholy. Maybe it's just the weather. You know, a few raindrops start falling on your head, the sky gets a little gray, and you start philosophizing. Now, night is falling in Riga. My nose is turning into a faucet because it's very chilly. And I guess it's time to say goodbye to this wonderful city. Head to the airport. It was a good time. Definitely, I'd recommend Riga overall. I think 2 days is about all you really need here, unless you're going outside the city, but it's worth the trip for sure. And apparently the nightlife is amazing, so that's obviously not my area of expertise, but if you're someone who's into clubbing and things of that nature, definitely come check it out for yourself and tell me how it is.